All right, howdy guys. Today we're going to be doing Leetcode question number 2176. Count equal and divisible pairs in an array. Given a zero-indexed integer array nums of length n and an integer k, return the number of pairs ij, where 0 is less than or equal to I, is less than j, and j is less than n, such that nums I equals nums j and I times j is divisible by k. All right, so let's look at the example. When you read the program, or when you read the question out like that, it's a little overwhelming. But if we look at the example here, it makes it a bit easier. So we have our array of nums, and the output's 4. So there are 4 pairs that meet all the requirements. Num 0 equals num 6, and 0 times 6 is 0, which is divisible by 2. So I don't know. This kind of bothers me. It's like you can't divide by 0, so how's it divisible by 0? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Tell me in the comments when I'm missing there. But anyway, as you can see here, the main gist, or the main thing we want to do here is we want to be getting the number, the indice of the array, and then we want to do this formula, this mathematical operation here to get the answer. So notice how we're not doing num 0 times num 6. We're doing 0 times 6, the actual indice itself. And then also you can see here, since the arrays are 0 index, we'll start at 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yep, these are both equal. And so then you take the indices, and then we get the answer there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on the solution for this. So let's create a variable. We're gonna call it result, and this is going to store our answer here. So a good rule to keep in mind is whenever a lot of these Leetcode questions, they'll always include like I and j. That's usually a good sign that you're going to want a nested for loop. And so in general, we're going to want a nested for loop here because we have to iterate through the array twice, and we have to compare elements in the array to each other. So in order to do that, we're going to have to do a nested for loop. So let's start by I. So let's do for int I equals 0, I less than nums.size, and I plus plus. Let's go ahead and throw another for loop in here. So int j equals 0, j less than nums.size, j plus plus. All right. Now this is where it's going to get a little bit complicated. So we're going to break this into different sections. So what first we have to do is we have to check right here if I is less than j. So we're going to go ahead and throw this in. So if I is less than j, this is also kind of makes the program a bit more efficient, because if I is ever greater than j, so let's say I is 5 and j is 0. If we're already at 5 with our I variable, that means we went through the j variable. We more than likely already compared these values already. So that's why it's important to add this in here. And this will also help us avoid getting the wrong answer as well. So if I is less than j and nums I equals nums j. All right, so we're gonna break this down just to make it a bit more easier. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and check this formula here. So if I times j is divisible by k. And so to do that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make another little parentheses here just to make it a bit extra readable. So we're gonna do I times j divided by k, and then whatever the result of this is, we're gonna use the modulus operator. What this is gonna do is it's gonna give us the remainder of dividing this by this number, so 2. And we're gonna make this equal to 0. So pretty much what this is doing what this is here. So I times j. Actually, I messed up here. I think I need to do it this way, actually. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I messed that up. So yeah, so it says here I times j is divisible by k. So I times j, and then to check if something is divisible by itself, we can do the modulus operator. So what this does is it gives us the remainder, the result of whatever this modulus is between these two characters. It gives us the remainder. And so if the remainder is 0, then that means that it's divisible by that number. So then we'll just do result plus plus. All right, and then all we have to do now is just return result. And then this should give us our answer. So let's just run it real quick. Just double check, make sure there's no errors. Okay, so far so good. All right, and there we go. That's all she wrote. All right, nice. We're beating 96% of people. You know, our runtime is a bit up there, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so the time complexity of this algorithm is n squared because we have to go through the array. Depending on how long the array is, that's accounts for the variable n. And then since we're doing a nested for loop here, we pretty much square this. We pretty much square the size of nums, and so that's what gives us a time complexity of n squared. And yeah, so hopefully guys you found that helpful, and hope you guys have an awesome day. See you later.